Yo, you're watching your Screaming Fish here, people, and today I'm here with another movie review, and this time we're having a look at Alice Through the Looking Glass, a sequel to a movie that came out 6 years ago, ironically. And yeah, unfortunately for that movie received mixed reviews, and ironically so did this one, only slightly worse. Though, I guess this is my thoughts, so yeah, I'm going to give you my thoughts in this video. Also, just a quick warning, there are spoilers in this video, so yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, proceed at your own risk. And yeah, so anyway, after slipping through a mirror, Alice finds herself back in Wonderland with the White Queen, the Cheshire Cat, the White Rabbit, Tweedledee, and Tweedledum. Her friends tell her that the Mad Hatter, played by Johnny Depp once again, is in a funk over the loss of his family, hoping to save his loved ones. Alice steals the chronosphere from Time himself to travel into the past. While there, she encounters the younger Hatter and the evil Red Queen. So, seeing as how Disney rose the bar a heck of a lot higher with movies like The Jungle Book and Zootopia, you can imagine I was pretty excited for this movie. Unfortunately, after watching it, I can definitely say that this is not good. Quite terrible, actually. Admittedly, I liked the first movie, but I didn't love it. This one, in all honesty, just lowered the bar even lower. To be fair, I'll start off with the good. Like the first movie, the movie is visually stunning. From the CGI characters, the animals, to giant clocks, and some, I dare say, quite entertaining action sequences. The CGI is definitely an improvement over the visuals of the first movie, and those effects were also brilliant. I'll also say that it is pretty good. It was a pretty good idea to tell us the backstories of characters like Red Queen and Mad Hatter, though admittedly the best scenes are weirdly set in good old planet Earth. Those scenes added more depth in character and development even to Alice herself, and honestly, the opening sequence set in the sea where they're being chased by Chinese ships across the sea was the best scene in the movie, for me at least. I still think Johnny Depp does give the best performance, and the movie's message about being different is not one to be ignored, in my opinion. So, I tried to like this movie. I really did, but I just honestly could not find anything else that I liked about the movie. So, for starters, this movie is a mess. The characters are written very two-dimensionally, and for the most part, darn unlikable. In fact, I'd say that 80% of the characters in this movie were just shoehorned into the story because you can't have Wonderland without them, and it's made painfully obvious that that was indeed the case due to their lack of screen time and how irrelevant they are to the story itself. I also found Alice herself quite annoying, as all she did for about 50% of the movie was blindly point out the obvious, like the audience is way too dumb to know what's going on. I really hate when films do that, because it's like the directors think we're the dumbest people on the planet. And this movie does exactly that throughout the movie. It's also very unclear who the actual villain of the movie is. First it was Time himself, but then he's a good guy, and so the bad guy is now the Red Queen, and Time is apparently a good guy, but he's in love with the Red Queen, and this is just when my brain just breaks down with confusion. And that's another huge issue this movie has. It has one of the most confusing storylines of all time. 20 minutes into the movie, and I have already lost. I'm already lost, mainly due to how horribly the time traveling aspect of this movie is handled. I would go as far as to say that the time traveling aspect of the movie is the weakest plot element in the movie. There's also an extremely uninteresting side plot involving Red Queen trying to use the time machine thingamabobby to change history so she can become queen again. This is the most uninteresting part of the movie, for me at least, and speaking of the Red Queen herself, she is still my least favourite part of these movies. Instead of the frightfully terrifying villain we got in the original Disney cartoon, yes, I've seen the original Disney cartoon, and yes, the Red Queen scared me in that. Don't judge. instead of that what the brilliantness of her in the cartoon, all we got the in the Tim Burton version and the sequel to that, which is what I'm reviewing now, in case you've just tuned in, is an obnoxious, annoying, loud crybaby that is not even close to how brilliant she was in the original cartoon. I did say that it was clever to give us a little info on the backstories of these characters, but only when it's handled well, which it is not in this film. As the Mad Hatter backstory is about him and his father hating each other, and that feels very, very been there, done that, and cliche. And the Red Queen's backstory is probably the most forced and horribly written backstory I've ever seen in any movie. I also admit that half the reason I could not keep track of the story and what the heck was going on was because of how rushed the script is, which is why I think is a mess, because it's just so rushed. Like, everything happens so fast, it's just hard to keep track. This is ironically an issue I had with Terminator Genisys. I do like that film, but that was an issue I had with it, and this movie does exactly that. I mean, literally, 1 minute you're in Earth, the next time traveling, and then something dramatic happens, and then everyone's a good guy now. It's also because of this that 80% of the characters are given only 10 minutes of screen time. Yeah. Like, I mean, the dog, the mouse, the white rabbit, who is mentioned in the plot synopsis, is only given about 10 minutes of screen time, so they don't even need to be there. Why are they in there? They just don't need to be in there. So, yeah. So I've seen some pretty awful movies these past years. Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, X-Men Origins Wolverine, Maleficent, and even The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and even Terminator Salvation. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, this movie is worse than all of those. Congratulations, Hail Caesar, you are no longer the worst movie I've seen all year. So, guys, I know this movie review is a lot more negative than usual, but I'm being honest here, Alice Through the Looking Glass both disappointed me and managed to be worse than its predecessor. So, yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Probably didn't if you like this movie. But, yeah, I will indeed see you in the next one. I might review Angry Birds in the next one. I'm thinking of watching that, and I'm probably not gonna like it, just seeing as how those reviews have been doing. And, yeah, but anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, guys.